Hello everyone, I'm here in my garage because something's broken and I need to fix it. I went to try to mow my lawn today because it needs it, and my mower would not start. This thing is 22 years old and never gave any problem until today, but it will not cut my lawn, so I'm going to see what I can do to get that back up and running. Have the engine off of the deck. Which is the easy part. Pretty much just take all the cables off and remove it, so that's pretty boring. But this is the engine. Down here in the ground, it's a cast aluminum block, so it's pretty light. Not a whole lot to say about it, since I have it disassembled already. But I just wanted to show what's going on here. Well, let me back up a little bit. So the problem with it is I went to start the mower, pulled on the cord, and it fired up very weakly, ran for a little bit. I assumed the throttle got stuck or something, and I jiggled the mower, bounced off the ground, and it quit. And it would not refire. So I tried some starting fluid, put some lubricant in the intake, pulled on the cord, and all it would do is backfire out the intake, so I assumed that at that point that a valve was stuck. Also pulling on the cord, there's really no compression anymore. So I, not being a small engine person, just started disassembling the mower and got down to the valves in here. I didn't take anything apart that I would have to buy a gasket for yet at this point, because I really have no idea where to buy parts for this thing. It's an old Briggs and Stratton 911 series, if that means anything to anybody. But I can show you the problem here. I disabled this brake so I could turn it, but the exhaust goes, if I grab the exhaust, the muffler on this thing here just fits over this exhaust right here and kind of covers everything up, so I took that off and many other things. And there's a little cover on here just with a little reusable rubber gasket. I probably don't even have to put RTV on it or anything to make it seal again. And really I don't care if my lawnmower drools a little bit of oil. But hopefully you can see in there. Let me grab a light. And here we go. So there's the exhaust valve opening. It opens, compresses the spring. It's harder to do with one hand than I thought. That goes up, comes back down, now it's closed. But the intake valve doesn't really move. Right there it moves just a little bit, just before the exhaust valve opens. So my intake valve is stuck partially open, and that is why my mower has no compression. So I'm not really sure what to do here. It would appear that the camshaft, or the tappet, is not pushing on the valve, and that the valve is stuck partially open. So it doesn't look good, but I guess I'll have to dig into this a little bit more, disassemble it further, and see if I just need to buy a new lawnmower or if this is still fixable. Okay, slight correction. I just found out that this valve is all the way open. So there's nothing wrong with the innards of the engine. This slides very freely in and out. I don't know how much play it has in it, but it seems pretty solid. So if I hold this in, the crankshaft does force that back out. I can hold this camera and show you at the same time. But if I turn the engine over, it will push that tappet out, and that's fully extended. So the problem is that either this spring is not pulling the valve back, or more likely the valve is stuck. So the problem isn't in the engine block here, it's in the head. So I'm going to take the head off and take a look at it, see if I need a new valve guide or a new valve or a new lawnmower. Looks like I need a deep socket for that one. This is a 13 millimeter. Okay, now I'll have to remember where these go, especially since this one is unique. It has to go up here in this corner. And it has a washer on it. Let's see if the rest of these are identical or not. Looks like the rest are all the same, so I don't have to keep track of where these go. Alright, and there's the nasty old dirty head. Pretty simple cast aluminum part here. So here's the engine, pistons in there. That will go up and down with the crankshaft. And there's my exhaust valve, opening and closing. Everything works fine there, but here's the intake valve, huh? Looks like the valve seat is unseated, and the valve got jammed up against it. So I don't know what that means. I will have to look at it a little bit more, but maybe I can press the seat back in and make it run for a while yet. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it, but that's the problem. I got the valve back in. It just slipped right back into the little groove here. So the valve seat is in, and the engine would probably run the first time I started it until this valve seat rattled out again. So I was trying to figure out how to hold that in, and I did some YouTube searching, what do you know. And I found out that to keep the seat in, you do what's called peening. Basically this soft aluminum, it's a cast aluminum block, you use a punch right around the outside edge to smear some aluminum up over the top and kind of hold it in there more tightly. So I'm going to try that. I mean, the worst I can do is break an engine that was already broken, right? So I'll give it a try. I've never done this before. This valve seat is very hard material, and if you put an impact on it, it'll shatter. So I'll have to be very careful that I only do this to the aluminum and not the valve seat. Okay, that was a little too close for comfort, but I don't think it cracked. Alright, well, valve's still open and closed. I don't think that seat's going to come out again. Probably come out the first time I mow now that I said that. I did notice that these valve guides are a bit worn. There's some play in here. They should probably be replaced if this engine's to last a long time. This one's really loose. But it ran fine up until now, and I'll probably just leave it as it is. Like I said, the mower's 22 years old. If it ran 22 years like this, it'll probably run another few at least. Get me by. So here's the valves, and I noticed that, a little different angle. I noticed that when I looked for play in these valves, between the tappet and the valve stem, no matter what size feeler gauge I used, I could not get anything in there. So something isn't right. There should be some sort of clearances here. I don't know what the clearance is supposed to be. If someone's watching, maybe you can tell me. But there is no clearance whatsoever. So this thing's probably getting close to risking burning valves. Like I said, it always ran fine before, and I assume it will, at least for a little while, but someone can tell me what that clearance is. I can go in here, take these valves out, take the valve springs out. Looks like you can just compress them with your thumb or fingers, and take this valve stem out, grind a little bit off, and I can get my clearance correct again. Seems like it would wear open, not close, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to put this back together now, put it back on my lawnmower, and it's dark outside, so I probably will try not to wake up the neighbors and do this tomorrow morning, but we'll see if it starts. And as far as this gasket here goes, I think I'm just going to clean this up and try to reuse it. Hopefully that works. I don't know. It's a low compression engine, it's just a flathead. About 6:1 compression ratio. So it's not too demanding. It's just a lawnmower. So, anybody know what the torque specs on these head bolts are? Given that they're head bolts, you think that it's important, but I have no idea what the torque spec is. So, I'm just gonna do whatever I think feels about right. And hopefully it is about right. I have no idea. I didn't even tighten that one. Oh. Well, that's a good example of how not to put on a head on an engine. Anyway, it's on there. And given that it's an old Briggs and Stratton lawnmower, it's probably good enough. We'll find out when I try to start it up. Here it is, the reassembled lawnmower. I have the cables and everything rehooked up, readjusted, secured, and I pulled on the cord here a couple of times, and I do have compression again, so that's good. I haven't tried to start it yet for two reasons. One, because it's past midnight. I went to do some other stuff and ate some food, came back here, and it took me a little while because not surprisingly, it took longer to put it back together properly than it did to disassemble it. Partially because I didn't remember how everything went together at first. But the second reason why I'm not going to start it is because I need to add this first. I drained the oil out of it before I took it all apart because I don't want oil drooling all over my clothes and over my garage and my floor and everything else. So it needed an oil change anyway. I didn't change it yet this year. And I just want to note, whenever you have an air-cooled engine, always use synthetic oil. I'm not advertising Quaker State at all, but this just happened to be on rebate. But air-cooled engines run hot, so either change the oil off or use synthetic, even on an old mower. But it takes 1 1/4 quarts, so I'll put that in there and leave it sit overnight. I'll have to wait till the morning to try it out. But for the rest of you, I assume it'll be right after this next cut. I'm back. It's actually been 2 days. I didn't get a chance to mow my lawn yesterday, and now it really needs it. I have my height set at the highest setting on here because the grass is really long. And I checked the oil, that's all good. So it's time to see if this thing is actually going to run, cut my lawn, and last long enough to finish the job. we'll see what happens. Well, here it is, one freshly cut lawn. The lawnmower ran fine and seemed to have as much power as a 4-horse mulching mower should. Seems to do fine as long as I keep the blade sharp. Sometimes I think that the only reason people sell 6-7 horsepower push mowers is because they know no one's going to sharpen the blade. You really should keep it sharp anyway, just for your lawn's sake. But anyway, at least for today I don't have to buy a new mower. Who knows how long it'll last, but I can always repeen the valve. So, I'm kind of attached to this mower a little bit because I paid for half and my dad paid for half back in middle school when I was mowing lawns for money. So I kind of like to keep it around if I can, but that's all I have. Thanks for watching.